Yeah, you better walk away.
Love a good band. Oh yes, your energy at those shows. It's so powerful.
I'm like, I can only hear my own clapping.
You missed me.
Yeah. So you've been on TV twice.
I
Yeah?
have, yes.
So you were in The Voice recently.
Yep.
And also, what was the other show called?
All
Together
together
Now,
now.
that's right.
Which you were on there
That's
as well.
John is a tenor. That means he sings opera. That makes him an expert.
They're tough when you're doing them, but I think the result you can get from them is amazing. You can reach more people. A
lot more people.
lot more people. Which then, you do have that nervous bit when it's going to air, because then you're like,
Are people going to like me?
Yeah.
Am I going to come across well? Have they edited me well?
Don't forget trolling. That's a rather good one as well. But
Yeah.
yes,
Why
the
did you look
word-
at me when you said that?
Never. But how did you like the experience? I think we had a lot of fun. That doesn't sound very like. Yes. Would you do it again, John?
Probably. Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
But that's because I'm an attention whore.
I would trade it all for the chance to be famous again. It is the greatest thing any human can achieve. You are never closer to God than when you are on television.
The days are long.
The super long days, and in the instance of the show that we were on, there was a lot of people. Like, so
Yeah.
100, think of 100 musicians, performers, and then put them all in one space, and then put cameras in that space.
It's a lot of big
What
personalities.
do you think is going to happen? Because the logistics alone in wrangling 100 personalities, no, you could not pay me enough. But
Yes, he'd be with his little headphones on.
yeah,
learning
don't talk
music,
to me. I'm learning words, or I'm learning music or
While
something.
everyone else is having fun in the corner.
Well, everyone's like, let's have a jam, and then everyone's playing 10 different instruments, and
And there's John.
everyone's trying to out riff each other, and all. No.
You didn't.
So, and you've been
Moving along.
No, we're sticking to the same. You'll know when there's a segue, because I will point it out.
I'm dying.
So, you have been on a TV singing competition show,
Yep.
both as a singer, as a contestant, but also as a judge.
Oh yeah, I didn't look at it like that.
So, what are the differences?
Well, it's much easier being on the other side, the judging, because you don't have
'Cause
all
it's
those
easy to
nerves.
judge.
It's so easy to judge. Hey, I was nice, Judge. I always say nice things. But I think.
Unlike Alex.
Beep.
Hated
I
him.
can't breathe.
He was the
I
worst.
forgot how much fun you were. Sorry. Oof. Yes, people we won't name, maybe.
No, I'll name him. I don't care.
Naming and shaming. Sometimes some people are a little nasty, and I thought it was uncalled for.
Totally.
I'm not a nasty person.
Yeah, and and back to the trolling. That is one of the only times that I would have considered myself a troll in that regard was when it comes to someone who presents themselves as something, and it's not the case.
If she does a full opera song, I can't stand opera.
What music do you actually like?
I like when people do different versions of things.
So like what she did in the first round?
Yeah, take it back then.
Yeah.
And because he was deliberately putting on that persona of, I'm going to be the mean judge.
What's going on? I'm just not class enough to get it.
You're a judge on a singing competition on TV, you're dealing with sometimes young singers,
vulnerable,
who are putting themselves out there.
It's hard enough to get up there in the first place.
It's hard. Yeah, exactly. It's hard enough to get to that stage and then to be able to do it, and then to choose to be negative in a way that is unconstructive and unhelpful and damaging. That's why that was the issue that I had with him.
But you stood up and you know.
And that's why I trolled the shit out of him. I was like, no, you cannot do that. You are here to be a judge, not to be an asshole.
Well, yes, that's true.
Yeah.
Moving along, segue.
How do you segue from that?
I don't know, I'm like.
You wore some great frocks on the show as well, actually.
I did. That was probably one of the most fun parts of it.
But you always have really great frockage.
Thank you.
There's your segue.
Bit of good frockage. It goes a long way.
I've seen you in some glorious frocks. How many do you have?
Oh.
And how much money do you think you spent on frocks over the years?
Look, it's been an accumulation of frocks, but I will say, I think people think I spend a lot of money on frocks.
You get them all from Wish, don't you?
We're not made of money, you know, us.
This is the thing. That's why I bring it up, because so many singers, spend a lot on gowns and then only wear them once because they feel they can't. I'm like, no, wear them.
Rewear them, girls. Rewear them.
Yeah,
and sometimes rework them.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not the world's greatest sewer, but if beads fall off, you just sew them back. Look, I'm all for the frocks. As you know, I'm a little bit of a repertoire whore at times.
The technical term for that is crossover artist, but whatever.
Yes. I'm a classical crossover artist. And look, I just figure if you can sing it, why not? One thing that I really wanted to make sure of when I did all those, opera pieces and so forth in those shows, is try to be as legitimate as possible with what I was delivering, because making sure your language is good, all those things, because
you're a professional.
Well, you try, but you know how it's like. I think I would hate anyone to ever think that I didn't care as much about that as I did,
or that you were selling out or something.
Yeah, no, I just want to
entertain
and also share what we do, even if it's like, I know it may be the popular things, but if that's what people like
They're
to
popular
hear,
for a reason.
And it gets people in, where we need them. So. And
it's a crossover. It's a bridge. It is.
Yep.
It introduces people to a style of singing that can then, if they're interested in it, then they can explore it further.
True, very true.
That's basically how I got into opera, was by listening to, Russell Watson, and not to this so much, but Andrea Bocelli, and I enjoyed the style of singing that they were using, and then I chose to explore it further, and it led me into opera.
Yeah.
So
like that. Sarah Brightman.
All of that stuff. It all has a place. Opera doesn't change if it's in a ship, or if it's in a theatre, or if it's... It doesn't matter where it is.
That's true. No, I mean...
It's still you're still doing the same thing.
You are. I mean...
opera singers all do generally tend to sound similar.
And especially to like, people that don't listen to opera a lot, I'm sure they're probably like, they might be like, oh, we all sound...
Because it's a way of producing sound that is very specific.
And being in the body and... it's an interesting project.
Yeah.
Let's get back Anthony Warlow.
That's true.
We love Anthony Warlow.
I do love Anthony.
Hi, if you're listening. Big fan.
He is not
How do
listening.
you know John? You're pretty famous now.
No, I'm not. But thank you. So you're Italian.
Yes.
Spata. And so you obviously come from a big family.
I do.
How are you finding... they're all in this state?
Yes, my family is all in this state. But at first I found, the COVID rules very hard, because as you can see, I'm quite a tactile person, use my hands. But being a big family person, I'd always drop into mum's or my nonna's, like my grandparents' place, And of course, when the rules, we went into lockdown, for safety reasons, and with the the age demographic of where my parents were and where my grandparents were, we really just all had to take a step back. So I did find that quite hard.
Yeah.
Thank God for FaceTime, right? So.
Yeah, I don't use it personally.
You don't use it?
No, I don't. I'm not really a big fan of talking. Just makes me.
Just doesn't float your boat.
Doesn't sit well with me. Oh my God! Damn it! The sneaky segue.
I really have been hanging around you too long, so I was like,
That's amazing. Good for you. So, float your boat into working on cruise ships.
what would you like to know, John?
Do you think you'll ever go back to working on cruise ships now that the world is collapsed in on itself?
Oh, well.
And it's all started probably on cruise ships.
Allegedly, that's ignorant.
Yeah, look, I think when a vaccine is created, that'd be ideal to do anything we want again. So that would be, cruise ships would definitely be one of them. I think I would be comfortable to go back if we were like sailing in Australian waters or New Zealand waters. I think where New South Wales is headed has been so great, and where the country is starting to get at is at a great point. So if we get to that point where it seems safe enough, then yes. But I think I would still be quite mindful of the more vulnerable and the elderly, and perhaps out of my cabin I would be wearing a mask and things like that, because you just don't ever want to take that chance that you could hurt somebody by carrying the virus.
Yep.
So yeah, never say never. I'm your number one fan.
I'm still waiting for one of these to go viral so I can stop doing them.
I'm sure we've put enough bombs in there. Someone's going to complain.
Actually, people have to watch it first to complain.
But
all right.
So good. I would high five you, but apparently I'm not allowed to. Can we?
Mental high five.
Oh, with the hair?
Yeah.
You got way better hair.
Yeah. Awesome.
Hello people of the internet, thank you for watching. If you'd like to catch another episode of Anything But Opera, you'll find it here. If you'd like to catch another episode of Anything But Opera, you'll find it here. And don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon so you'll be notified every time there's a new episode.